Very much again for coming. Andrew believes that you are a member of this community, member of this country, and you deserve to be respected, you deserve to be cared for. So because you are first an American citizen and last you're an American citizen, in between you belong to a different religion or different culture. So I know Andrew, and I can't testify, but because he's my friend, but I know he is a person who deserves our trust, because one of his first actions when he took office, he decided to throw an iftar for the Muslims in Ramadan. I know it's not a big event, but it's kind of a symbol of how he thinks, how he observes, how he thinks of the Muslims in the community, how he value the religion, how he value the community. Andrew moved on to take on the big issues. Like for example, he sponsored cameras on the streets. He sponsored brings money to our schools and our streets. He was there for us and our issues. For example, I remember when the terrorist attack happened in Australia, Andrew was first one to call and to make sure that he is in the mosque and making a statement in support of our issue. So I think he deserves our support. He's a good man. He approved himself in the Senate and he deserves our support. So هو شخص طيب ومحترم ويستاهل but we need to go like what in the last 4 years under this administration. Travel ban that took place early on in the administration. I want to invite Andrew to speak about his basic program and his accomplishments last 2 years. Please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think you said everything. So I don't have anything to say. Hanging out tonight. It's a beautiful night. We got lucky. And I want to thank Mohammed for opening up his house for us, inviting us to share a meal together. We don't get to do that as much anymore given the circumstances. I think I know most of you. I've met most of you. I've gotten to know most of you. For those of you that haven't, it's great to meet you. This has been a great 2 years, I think. Not without its challenges, not without its difficulties, not without a lot of hard work, but I think there's been a lot of great things we've done over the last 2 years in our neighborhood. When I ran, as Mohammed said, I ran on this idea that it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from or when you come here, but that you should have a voice in government, that people in office should come and speak to you and talk to you and hear your concerns and do whatever they can to help you. And that's something that I've really endeavored to do. More than any other bill that I pass, more than any other single accomplishment, what I'm most proud of and what I feel most proud of is that my office is a place that welcomes everybody. We have people on staff who speak many different languages, whether it's Arabic, Chinese, Spanish, Greek, Russian, everyone. Because everyone should know that they have a voice, someone they can come talk to in their own native language. And we don't just wait for people to come to us. We want to go out into the community. When we used to be able to go out into the community before this year, we wanted to be out there on the streets, present everywhere. We wanted to be in the afraid of government. People shouldn't be intimidated. They should know that we're here to help them. And Mohammed talked about the iftar that we did last year. When have we ever had a community iftar? We've never had that before. And it was a great event. It was a little chaotic. We ran out of food. But the fact that we were able to have an interfaith iftar and bring people together from different backgrounds. And we had people in the community donate food and time and volunteers to put this together, I thought was great. We do a Christmas tree lighting, we do a parade, we do this, we do that. This is a way to say that our community is more inclusive and represents everybody. Something else we did last year that I thought was really important, my office helped bring 2 families back together despite the Muslim ban. We were able to work with levers in government, and we were able to reunite 2 families from our neighborhood here in Bay Ridge. There were about 1,000 families across the entire country that got reunited last year. We got 2 of them in my office right in here in Bay Ridge. That's really significant because we know how important that is. And we know we're still having troubles with immigration and everything else, but we're still going to make sure we can do everything we can. So let's look to the future. And that's just a small snapshot, right? There's a lot we can talk about. And it's also, I know it hasn't always been the easiest to do. One of the things I've learned, they put you in office and then you start 0 to 100 right away. There is no warm-up period. Day one, hire your staff, have an office, be here, be in Albany, be back in Brooklyn. There's a lot to get under our belt and get organized. I think we've done a lot. We can always do more and we can always work better together. There's no doubt about that. But now we have an election in 81 days. It's going to be here before we know it. And this is an incredibly important election. First and foremost, because of what's happening at the national level. If we do not do everything in our power to defeat Donald Trump, I don't know if our country's going to survive. I honestly don't. Because he is waging a war not just on people of different backgrounds, not just on immigrants. He's waging a war on all of us. He's waging a war on all of us. And we look around and we see that there's so much anxiety and tension and fear in people. It's because it comes from the top. And fear creates hate. People just feel tense. And when they feel tense, they want something to lash out at. And that leads them to hate. And that's why we see so many hateful things happening across the country. That's why we see hate crimes up in the country this year, especially with everything going on. So we have to defeat Donald Trump. But we have to remember that what happens locally matters as well. And this election here in our neighborhood matters as well. I have a very tough re-election. I know everyone thinks that just because we beat Marty Golden, I won by the smallest margin of victory of anyone in the state Senate last year. 1,271 votes. That's it. If 636 votes went the other way, I lose. That's it. That's all it would take. Smallest margin of victory, and that happened because everyone in this room worked their tails off to make sure that got elected. That we made phone calls and we knocked on doors and we raised money and we told our supporters, we told our clients, our everyone, we told everyone how important it was to come out to vote. And my victory is because of everyone in this room. But we can't take it for granted. We can't assume that just because it's not Marty Golden, we don't have a difficult race. Because the truth of the matter is, and I'm being very honest with you, we just did a poll and Donald Trump is still up in our district. It's a majority Democratic district and Donald Trump is still up by 4 points. And even though I'm up, I'm not up by a lot because people are so polarized right now and people are so afraid and they see what's happening in the city and they see protests and they see riots and they see garbage cans on fire and they see cop vans being smashed and broken into, and they just as much as they hate what Donald Trump is doing, they hate what's happening in their city. And so they get disgusted with politics. They want to vote against everybody. I think we've done too much to give up what we've done so far, and we've come too far as a community together to give up and to turn back on progress. So that's why I'm here asking for your help again, for your support. We have to bring everybody out to vote. We can't campaign the way we campaigned last time. We can't send people knocking on doors. It's not safe. We have to make phone calls. We have to get volunteers making phone calls all day in different languages, calling people, reminding them. We have to teach them how to vote, because many more people are going to be voting on absentee ballots now. And we saw what happened in the primary in June. How many thousands of ballots were thrown out because people didn't sign in the right place, or they didn't get a postmark on the right part of the envelope, and ballots were invalidated. We can't have our voices shut out. We can't have people have their votes thrown out because they didn't do it right. So we have to start educating people from now on what the right process is, on how to fill out the ballots. We have to make sure that people are registered. We have to make sure that people are registered from now, because 81 days will be here before we know it. That's it. A blink of an eye and it'll be November 2nd and we'll have 1 day left. And we can't get caught flat-footed and we can't get caught unprepared. So we have to start working now. I'm coming to you now asking for your help again, because I can't do this alone. I need your help. I need the help of every single person that we brought along with us in this campaign and over the last 2 years. And that's why I'm thankful for your friendship, for your continued support. We've done a lot together. I want to continue to do more together and do the best we can to lift up all of our communities. Because I really do believe, I'm the grandson and the great-grandson of immigrants. I really do believe, to the bottom of my heart, that American story belongs to everybody. I really believe that. And that we should not stop until everyone has the chance to live out that American dream. We turned our office into an immediate recovery operation. So we've been serving people food out of my office 5 days a week. We've served more than 40,000 meals in the last 3.5 months. We've helped more than 1,500 people get their unemployment checks because there were so many delays, so many problems. We've helped people prevent evictions. We have just basically stopped everything, and we've just been focusing on helping people recover. because what's happened over the last few months has been devastating for people. Because that's the type of response that we need, and that's what my office has now become. And we've worked with many different groups in the community and all the communities together to make sure that we're supporting people who are going through some very, very, very difficult times right now due to no fault of their own. So I think that's important because not everyone always sees that. We always see what's on Facebook. We don't see the people who are waiting in line for 3 or 4 hours to get a meal. That we not see the people who are calling and leaving voicemails at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, I'm going to lose my house. I can't pay my rent. What do? I don't know where to turn. Those are the stories we don't hear about, but those are the stories that we can't ignore. So, thanks.
Muhammad, thank you for the invitation. You're always doing these things. Two things I would like to emphasize on. One, Andrew said, which is the margin of how much we can succeed and with how much can we lose. I would remind all of you of Khadr al-Yatim. We lost with 628 votes. That's our loss. And that 628 votes, they came because our community was split. The 628 votes, we could have made Khadr in the city council. We did not because we are split. I hope we are all going to be behind this gentleman, and I'm speaking as on my personal opinion. I do not represent the Arab American Association in that opinion, which I will support him personally. The Arab American Association cannot endorse or support anybody, and I allow me to say all the endorsement that came from the associations is on the personal level. Our associations, the associations and the mosques and the churches need to push people to go out and vote. Educate them how important the vote. To me, Democratic or Republican, it doesn't make any difference. It's if I feel Andrew is going to serve me as a person, I'm going to go for Andrew. Our community is mostly divided. We have Democrats, we have Republicans, but it is very important to educate our people who is the best man for us. Who should we vote for? Who is the guy that is going to look after our interests locally? I disagree on the international policies, but some of them, they have to go with the international policies because otherwise they will be drawn out of their seats. So what is important to us is how much can we gain, how much our community can gain.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بعد إذن الحضرات طبعا شكرا للأستاذ محمد على الدعوة الكريمة ديت، والأستاذ محمد طول عمره سباق لمثل هذه الأمور، والحقيقة أمور يعني بارك الله فيك يا أستاذ على هذا التجمع الكريم. يعني بعد إذن مولانا الشيخ عبد الله، أنا بس بحب أزود على كلمته كلمة واحدة كمان، إن إحنا تخطينا فتوى وجوب المشاركة في الانتخابات. يعني دي خلاص بقت خطاب احنا محتاجين خطوة أكتر تقدمية منه، وهي الدعم والمساندة. الدعم والمساندة المادية والمعنوية، ليس من أجل مصلحتنا فقط، لأن لما بنقول علشان مصالحنا احنا بس، البعض ينظر إلينا على أننا انتهازيين وعلى أننا أصحاب مصلحة، فإذا خلصت المصلحة معناها أن احنا مش هنحط في إيدينا. لا، نحن ندعم مثل أندرو كمبدأ من المبادئ الحياتية بتاعتنا، كمبدأ من المبادئ. بندعم المشاركة في الانتخابات كأساس من الأسس وليس كخطوة إلى مصلحة. ده أساس وجود، والشخص الذي لا يفعل الحقوق اللي هو معطاها من قبل ربنا سبحانه وتعالى أولا، ثم من قبل القانون بتاع المكان اللي عايش فيه، يبقى شخص مفرط في مبادئه الشخصية ومضيع لكثير من المنافع اللي ممكن يحققها للمجتمع قبل ما يحققها لنفسه. فمشاركتنا في المسألة دي مسألة مبدأ غير متعلق بمصلحة فقط، ولكن مسألة مبدأ من المبادئ لابد ان احنا نربي كل المجتمع عليه. تخطينا مسألة الفتوى بوجوب المشاركة.
عبد الله علام، دكتور علام، إمام داود مسجد, but I live in Bensonhurst. بارك الله. I am here 21 years in America. وحقيقة الوضع الجالية الحمد لله مختلف تماما عن سابقه من فضل الله تبارك وتعالى. نحن أولا جزء لا يتجزأ من المجتمع الأمريكي. نحن يهمنا ما يهمه، ويسعدنا ما يسعده، ويؤلمنا ما يؤلمه. نعم. ووجدنا من المجتمع الأمريكي في آخر شيء موضوع بريزيدنت ترامب عندما منع بعض الدول العربية من الدخول، رأينا في المطارات المحامين من غير المسلمين جنبا إلى جنب مدافعة، والله رأيتهم يفترشون الأرض ليدافعوا عن المسلمين. والله رأيت محامية تبكي لأنه في أخت عربية مسلمة ما عرفت تدخل يعني وتحل المشكلة بتاعتها. أقول أن هذا الأمر نحن جزء من المجتمع الأمريكي، وعندما كنا نمتحن للسيتيزن كان يقول لك إيش أهم حق لك؟ رايت تو فوت. هذا أنا السؤال ده مسهو شفت أهم حق يعني اللي يعني لك إنه رايت تو فوت. حتى إنه مرة من المرات كان اسمي يعني موجود في كشف تاني، قال روح للقاضي، قاضي موجود في اللجنة عشان تروح تصوت في لجنة. يعني عايز أقول إنه الأمر هذا مهم جدا. بل أقول للإخوة كنا زمان الأمر غير اليوم. اليوم من فضل الله تبارك وتعالى جميع المساجد، أقول all مساجد for all إن شاء الله، معنا registration form بالعربي وبالإنجليزي. احنا
لا نزيد على ما قاله المشايخنا الكرام. شكرا لكم جميعا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
الختام.
2 years it was not enough time for Andrew to do a lot for us, plus the pandemic hit and confused the whole thing for the nation. But I promise you this, that Andrew is a gentleman, he's a very humble man, he has a lot to give. We have to give him a chance, we have to try hard to spread the word of love. That's this gentleman, he is completely for us, and if he succeed, we're all gonna succeed. Knowing him for the past few years, he been nothing but a gentleman, complete a nice guy who wants to do things. He's trying so hard, I know that, and I know he has a lot to give to all of us. So please guys, if you know people, and you know, I'm sure all of us now we know the secret of voting, and we need to go out there and vote for everyone we feel comfy with. I feel very comfy with Andrew, and I know in my heart he'll do a lot for all of us. So please, anyone you know, spread the word, and all the best to all of us. And thank you, Andrew, again for coming. Thank you.